My given name is Roy I. Wilson, but it is not the true family blood name. My grandfather was adopted by a man by the name of Wilson, but he was born Rochon. Rochon comes from Pierre Rochon, who was one of the French voyagers who brought Father Blanchet here to the Cowlitz tribe. And where many of those voyagers went back home to the Montreal, Quebec area, that French Canadian, he stayed here and he married my Cowlitz great grandmother, and they gave birth to my grandpa, William Rochon. But then when he became adopted, then the name Rochon was lost and we became known as Wilson. My mother is totally English, but my father had Cowlitz blood, Chinook blood, Yakima blood, and Iroquois blood. All of that happened this way. After Lewis and Clark came here and landed in 1806, the spring of 1806, at the mouth of the Cowlitz River on the Columbia. 3 years later, John Jacob Astor founded Fort Astor, and now he needed fur trappers. And the fur trappers that came here were usually the French Canadians from the Montreal, Quebec area. And they needed guides to guide them, and the Iroquois guides brought them out here, the French Canadian fur trappers. But most of those Iroquois guides went back home. But one of them, his name was Tawakan, Iroquois man. And he remained and went to work for Astor. He married a Chinook woman. So they gave birth to a daughter, one half Iroquois, one half Chinook. But at this very same time, there was a full-blooded Cowlitz, Unequatnon Skloutwout, and his wife, Hawkweets, full-blooded Cowlitz, who gave birth to a son, full-blooded Cowlitz, that married the half Iroquois, half Chinook girl. And so then the Yakima blood got into it, and here I am, a Cowlitz, Chinook, Iroquois, Yakima. And my dad, his whole life, was an enrolled A-Lot T of the Yakima tribe. He had a 40-acre allotment on the Yakima Reservation between Hare and White Swan, and a 160-acre allotment in the Horse Heaven country. But he was also an enrolled Cowlitz, dual enrollment for a number of years. He served on the Cowlitz Tribal Council. And then when the federal government, when we were applying for federal recognition, said that we had to show there was no dual enrollment, he gave up his Cowlitz enrollment because of all the land he had on the Yakima Reservation. So I'm a derivative of all of that conglomeration. My whole life has been lived, when I was born, I was enrolled Yakima. But when I was about 7 years of age, the Yakima Tribal Council passed legislation stating that if a person who was enrolled was not at least 1/4 Yakima, not Indian, but Yakima, and or had not lived on the reservation 5 years, that they would be stricken from the roll. And I was less than 1/4 blood Yakima, and I was born on the Yakima Reservation, on my dad's allotment, but it was during the years of the Great Depression. I was born in 1927, and there was no work. And so Dad moved off the res to go to a place where he could find work when I was 8 months old. So I was stricken from the roll. But I spent the rest of my life just as a Cowlitz. So that's a little bit about my birth and my name, who I am, and why I'm here as that today.